What if your productivity didn't have to feel like, you're fighting a storm? What if it was more about finding your tide and letting that tide carry you? Aloha, my beautiful ones. If this is your first time here, my name is May. I'm your neurospicy cyberwitch, here to help you unravel anything that has to do with your witchiness, with your highly sensitivity, and especially your ADHD. And I know that we all want to, get our productivity flowing more, because I know how we have that big label on us ADHDers sometimes. And this is more within ourselves, not so much from the outside, but within ourselves, that we feel like we're too lazy because we have those moments of, being all over the place, and, having that, it feels like we can't get things done, right? Because you probably also have that thought. That's one of the thoughts that I used to have a lot, is like, oh my God, everything has to be last minute. Why can't I do it, a little bit more in advance? And, before I dive deep into this, I want to share with you that I have opened up my Cybercoven. It's there for you, because one of the things that happens to us a lot when we feel like we're not very productive, or we're, because we're trying to overcompensate for it, and then we get overwhelmed. And so I want to invite you into my Cybercoven, where you can find 7 tools that will help you overcome your overwhelm. You'll find the link below in the description of this video or the show notes. With that said, let's come back to this. All right. So as a little disclaimer before we get started, I'm not a doctor. All I know is, in my work as a coach, being an ADHDer myself, one that I don't like to take medication. I do understand that some people do need it. So there's that, but I can help you and show you how to do it on your mental side, on your psyche, on your belief system, because that's where I, help you and support you in learning that. And one of the things that I hope that we can all reframe is the part about this ADHD, feeling like we're not productive enough, because when we watch, I'm going to call them the normies. When we watch the normies, the neurotypical people, then they feel like they're so productive, and like they get things done. And we're all over the place, like it's either, oh, squirrel, or no, unicorn, right? So we're all over the place, but it's not about that. The thing that I feel that I've noticed, because we do have the hyper focus on the other hand, and our hyper focus is so productive with ourselves, with everything around us, right? So that's the thing. It's about, learning for yourself to listen who you are, to become the observer of who you are. Because if you want to stop fighting yourself, it's about learning, when am I productive, right? Because we have this function that our productivity is our creativity. We're most creative to certain times. And I always like to compare it to a wave. When you think of a wave, right? So depending on when the wave comes in, and it comes with a big swoosh, and it's very strong, and that's when we're fully in hyper focus, and it comes in with all its strength, and then it breaks, and then there's this moment where it starts retrieving, right? And for those of you who have been in the ocean, you're going to say, yeah, May, I know how that feels, because in that moment of retrieving, it makes it harder for us to keep on moving forward, right? Those moments of keeping on moving forward in that kind of wave is hard, because the wave is pulling back. So that's when we're actually fighting against our own wave. When we listen to our own wave, like, am I right now? Am I productive? Am I creative right now? Do I have, do I feel like doing the things that I need to do, right? And I'm not saying stop doing them, please. Well, actually I am saying it, but in a different kind of way. Because I know we have jobs, and there's things that we need to do, and sometimes we want to do them last minute. Our boss wants us to bring, to finish something by tomorrow, and we know we have to, but we spend the whole afternoon dabbling on our phone, and then doing this and then doing that, and finding a lot of other things to do except the one thing that our boss asked us to do, right? So for me, this is a deeper, this is something that I recommend, finding someone that goes deeper with you for the topics that go beneath it, right? But when you start understanding, you don't have to, it's important for us to look into that, like, because maybe it's the kind of job, it's the task, it's the boss, it's the people around it, it's a little bit complexer, right? So it helps to go deeper with your coach, if you'd like to, me, for example, or someone else, to go deeper why you have to procrastinate in certain areas, right? That's a good question you should ask yourself. But today's topic is more about how to, how to feel when you're productive. And I think that if you reframe this for yourself, like, look at this image of the wave, right? And if your wave is retrieving right now and you're still trying to be productive, your system is telling you right now is not the time to be productive. What can you do to give yourself a moment of peace, a moment of, relax? Maybe it's a siesta you need to do. 30 minutes sleeping. Maybe it's a walk that you want to do. Maybe it's your favorite food. I'm not talking about you need to take a break, stop talking, don't do it. Of course it helps, but if you can't, what little thing can you do to nourish yourself in that moment, to take care of yourself in that moment? And this is something that no one else can do for you, because you are the one that is feeling it. And if you're feeling, it's too much overwhelm, it's too much stuff right now, allow yourself, be the observer. Hey, am I on this kind of wave? Like, is my wave strong right now? Or is it pulling back right now? And if it's pulling back, it means I need rest. Okay, I can't rest too much because, my deadline is tonight. But can I give myself 30 minutes of my favorite Netflix episode? Can I give myself 30 minutes of going for a walk? What is the one thing that I can give myself? Maybe it's not 30 minutes, maybe it's only 10. Sometimes we just need, a little breakout, a little relax, a little softness. And for that, we need to become the observers of ourselves. The more you observe yourself, who you are, when your wave is where, you will be able to understand and to stop fighting it in the wrong moments. Because you're probably going to have moments where it's like, whoa, your head is so full and so many ideas and so many things you want to do, but you can, because right now you have to do this or that, right? And this is something that we're allowed to share with our surrounding. For example, I am highly passionate about everything that I do. And sometimes in there also I need breaks. But also sometimes I'm very creative. And especially when I take breaks, like right now, what you see here is the room where I'm staying with my family. We're having a little break. And this could be like the moment that I could use to go like, okay, now my wave is retrieving. Let's take a moment. You have a week to, relax, to breathe into it. But a lot of the times, once I start doing this, my wave starts going and I get super creative. And also, it's the same with the productivity not being there as being too much. In both moments, you can decide, instead of fighting it, to actually allowing it. It doesn't have to be much. In my case, my family knows I'm walking around with my laptop, with my cell phone. I'm sitting here recording this because I felt like this is the moment right now to do it, right? And it's about creating that environment where you can be yourself. So it's a two-way thing, because on one hand, it's allowing ourselves to rest when we need it, and allowing ourselves to work, to be creative when we want it. And I think the more we communicate with our surrounding people, the more you can actually implement that and become better at your energy field, how that feels. And so we come to the point, closing the circle, that instead of pushing your own waves, pushing them away, turning them off, saying, no, I need to do it this way because I want to fit in with everybody else. That's where I come in with my beautiful sentence, hoping, and this is what I stand for. I stand for a world that adjusts to neurospicy people and not the other way around, because we're good the way we are and we can do a lot of good work if we're allowed to, if it's something that suits us. And the more we do it, the more we're going to be able to help our surrounding, help our people around us. With that said, again, remember, in case you feel like you're too overwhelmed, you can find the link to my guide in the show notes in the description of the video as well. And I would love to hear, how would gentle productivity look like for you today after what you've heard today? Just hit reply or put it in the comments. I believe your rhythm, your truth, and especially your softness, it's all welcome here, because you are an amazing being to do so many beautiful things on this plane.